Captain Morgan Playoff Challenge makes you the head coach of your very own fantasy sports team, earning or losing points in real time based on your athlete's performance during real games. I'm Jennifer Robles, and I'm here to show you how to play for free and win fantastic prizes. First things first, enter your age. Everyone can play, and if you're over 19, you get to play with the captain. Then, scroll over any game you want and hit play. You can play as often as you want, one game at a time. Now comes the fun part, selecting your own starting lineup. Don't know much about the players in the game? Don't know a lot about football? No worries. Fast Pick It and InGamer will get your lineup started for you. Once your squad is filled, pick your captain by clicking the C next to the player's name. That player will score 2 times the points on every play or 2 times the negative points. But you can't change your captain all game, so choose wisely. Of course, you'll want to show up in the ranking, chat in the community, and win prizes, so click sign in and create an account, or use Facebook Connect. Now, sit back, watch the game, and follow your players as they rack up points. Are your first picks underperforming? Did one of your studs get hurt? Is the game a defensive battle? No worries, you're the coach and it's your call. You can change your lineup every quarter if you want, or you can roll with your starters all game long. The Captain Morgan Playoff Challenge lets you, the fans, play along with the game on the field with anyone and everyone you want to play against. Just sit back and enjoy the playoffs. Good luck, and I'll see you in the game.
Yeah, so everyone go to that URL and play. So we want users. The best way to support Canadian technology is to play. So I mean, right now this is kind of step one. We've released desktop and tablet play. In the spring, we'll release mobile with the baseball season, and the product will keep developing and developing. But I mean, it's exciting, and working with an organization, and I know that Perry Bell is about to speak on a panel after this, and I'm not trying to kind of trumpet the partner here, but I mean, Rogers, what they've done is really exciting because they actually are, out of all the Canadian media organizations that we've worked with, they are understanding the fact that integrated media and cross-platform and cross-screen is the way that their audiences want to engage. So it's been a long road, but it's been an exciting one. And thank you to the Toronto Star for writing a nice article today. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Cool, thanks. I think one of the really interesting things I guess all of you have in common, or is where you're coming at this question, is, again, one of the other words we've heard, I mean, I've heard it now for, I don't know, 16, 17 years, is the whole convergence thing, whatever that means. And it changes constantly. But you know, it's starting to come to life in terms of, at least from the user end of it, right? Like, I think we looked at convergence from a technology and hardware thing. We looked at it from a commercial and monetization point of view. But you know, as always, as you know, we got to lead with the audience, and of course, as product-centric media companies, we don't think about they're there, but we really think about our products and our shows and our news, whatever it is that we're doing. And so, you guys seems to be where you're really front runners, is bringing that sort of the convergence of users' needs or users' consumption. Tied to that is, I think, in an important way, is the other thing we've heard is, you know, at some point, you know, TV's dead or dying or whatever, which again, it depends how you define TV, right? TV as the box that sits in the living room, and episodes are made, you know, what you're kind of going after in a different way, or a console's plugged into it, and that's the only way to play a game other than on a laptop, et cetera. So, you know, that notion of convergence and the future of TV in a broad definition, it'd be great if each of you could comment on that and how you see sort of what you're doing, either being something that, you know, traditional media can take inspiration from, or that plugs perfectly well into what traditional media need to become or need to do. So it'd be great if you could comment on that, or...
Yeah, I mean, a while ago, it was, I guess, a buzz for a while to say that TV was dying, but I don't, as you said, the way we think about it is it's another screen. I think it is still the primary screen. I think it is no denying that it is still the way that the majority of us access our entertainment as its sort of first direct portal. I think the difference is, though, and which Totally Amped is a total experiment, but it's that idea that I still pay, what am I up to now, $160 a month to essentially watch 3 channels that I want. And what Totally Amped sort of represents is this idea that maybe another way that it could turn into is that you go home and you buy, it's $19.99, whether it's $39.99, whatever that's going to be, that I can go and buy that season of The Walking Dead I get all those episodes that can move between any screen I have, whenever I want it, where I want it. And then beyond that, I get that second click experience, which I sort of say. And whether that's behind the scenes content, whether that's the community, whether that's a gaming experience, whether that's a social community game, all of those things can be tied into it. I think that it is plausible that when we say TV is evolving, that it could be moving towards that it becomes more of this primary screen that sits in someone's living room, and from that we go and we touch it, or we sit back here and we move our hands in the air and we select what we want to watch. In buying it there, we've bought it for everything. Yeah. And that's sort of
that's
the way
exactly it. I think that we need to focus and think about what's not the next step, which is a TV with a phone and an iPad next to you. It's when there's one screen and you have one remote. You're doing everything on that one screen. I mean, Eric Schmidt, when he did his presentation for Google TV, I mean, the very first thing he said was, imagine the day you're watching sports, and not to be kind of vain here, but you're watching sports. Imagine you can check your fantasy squad at the same time. It's no. You're playing at the same time, or you're chatting with your friends on the same screen. So, I mean, I think it's like those hardware companies like Samsung and Panasonic who are launching the smart TVs with built-in apps. I mean, these are the ways that as content, because we're a content producer, we're all content producers at the end of the day, that's how I think we need to start thinking and really focusing our attention on is how do we make that singular screen experience perfect enough so you don't need all these other devices.
Yeah. It's that idea of packaging it, and I think that's what's changing is a packaged experience from where it was when this burst in the 90s and then the 2000s, where we've done these things and they're all slightly different and they're all everywhere. And we even do it now. We ask someone to watch our TV show on a TV, then you have to go and type in a URL on a different platform to find the next thing. What I think is really exciting is now it is all contained within one singular experience, and it all connects beautifully and talks to each other beautifully, and you feel as though you are in that world no matter what section you are participating within that. And
I mean, I would agree that we look at TV as a screen, because to us TV is the same thing as you would play your PlayStation 3 on. It's a mode of engagement. It's sitting down in a chair like this. It's being about 4 to 6 feet away from something. There's a physical distance and there's that way of interacting with it. And so for us, it comes down to platform appropriate interactions. And so it's true that I can watch TV on my iPhone, but it's really like trying to watch a hockey game on that thing is ridiculous. So it's about building platform appropriate content to tie these things together. So I mean, I don't think TV is going to go away, because that screen is still, that's the place that you consume media, whatever it is, whether it's Halo 2 or whatever, in that way. But I guess our trajectory on it is trying to make platform appropriate experiences. Like Facebook, you don't want to be, no one's going to play a first-person shooter on Facebook. It's just not designed for that. It's a work computer-related sneaky quick fix thing versus a phone or a tablet experience. Like you can watch TV on a tablet, and in fact, that's I was reading it somewhere that's replacing books as a kind of like the nighttime, the pre-bed activity is sitting watching TV on your iPad.
I think the concept of TV is kind of going away from being attached to any particular device. I mean, just taking myself as an example, I used to be obsessed with having the best TV in my living room. And now I've really lagged behind. I think my TV is only like 50 inches. But it's actually, I'm not even sure if it's actually 1080p. It's an older plasma that I bought way back when. And as TV content became just more available through stuff like Netflix, and maybe it's just my lifestyle as well, but I find my TV is basically whatever screen I have in front of me. Usually it's just my MacBook Air or my iPad, and I consume my TV through Netflix, and that's about it. I think
that's when people talk about TV, they're often actually talking about the model of delivering an audience to an advertiser. Yep. And that's actually not TV, and it doesn't have to be TV. And I think that when we think about TV as delivery of episodic content that way, then there's tremendous legs to it, because that's actually what even the other screens are still struggling with, like apps as episodic content, or webisode, those kinds of things. We've always had episodic content, and even games, sequels and whatever. We just chunked it up differently. But I think that most people, when they're railing, the TV is dying. What they're really talking about, yes, it's true. You can't command my presence at 8:00 p.m. in my living room anymore. Like, there's no TV dinner. There's no, that's gone, gone away.
And so now it's about trying to find those experiences to make that hook that much more tangible, and then figuring out ways to make those audiences more sticky to broadcast. You want to get them, and you want to keep them.
Right.
And now you need to integrate all of these things to keep them, or they're gone. Or at least the younger demographic, they're gone.
And the great news is, though, that this demographic, or this new crop, is perfectly happy to be harvested. Is the worst word I could use, but but the idea is, in this world of freemium where content is perceived as free, it's not actually free, and any sort of sort of savvy Gen Ys know that it's not free. I can pay for it by lending my eyes to a cause, or by clicking through, or by being advertised through. So content isn't free, and people kind of know that. But the trick now is, instead of this passive, I'm there at 8:00 and it's sponsored by whatever Procter & Gamble's products, because if they know it's going to be there, it's much more tailored and it's much more savvy. But I think the opportunity there, though, is that these people are prepared to be monetized. Like, they understand that. So
I think, and there's finally to that. That's the other we were the broadcaster and the producer. So there is no broadcaster for what we've done. We've created a TV show for under $1 million. If we can go and make that back and double it, I mean, it starts to show even an entirely new business model that has existed before, which is the big three, the big two broadcast. You go, massive budgets, and with technology, with a new way of thinking, with even a new way of approaching production models, the entire way you even make content and deliver it for any screen.
For you, the broadcasters eventually, if your model works, become just a marketing tool.
Correct.
You buy your own airtime and get more people to buy it.
Yeah.